So hi everyone, so Sir Elvin here and I'll be teaching you our lesson for week 1 in Bicol so that you can understand more. So the topic, excuse me for that, the topic will be sources of information and techniques in reading. So I'll be teaching it in Bicol but I'll have a separate video which I'm going to talk about it in English so that you're improving English speaking skills and listening skills and of course you could understand more. Okay po, let's start. So, sources of information. Ano ang mga, usually, sa aral daw tang ginigibo, may mga nakukuha tang information. Sa ito nakukuha. Minsan, nabasa nyo sa Facebook, even though sometimes, false information to, fake news. Minsan naman, nabasa yun, nadawagin sa radyo. So, we are surrounded by information. Pero sa intabi ito nakukuha mga information na to usually. Okay, so we have number one is news report. They are found in newspapers, televisions, or radios, which aim to inform the readers of what is happening around the world. So tandaan na, pag sinabi tang news report, ang aim ninda, inform ang mundo. It can be, for example, locally, sa Bicol. It can also be national, sa buong Pilipinas. And it can also be about all around the world. For example, ang nangyayari sa Afghanistan. Okay po. Next. Okay, so what is an example of this one? So I think you're already familiar with this one. So what is the example of? For example, we have this. Okay, this one, which is TV Patrol. So live stream September 19, 2021. So ano kaya? So this is a woman being interviewed. So ayan po. So araw kaya. So usually ano mga nangyari katong aldaw na to? So ano siya? National siya. And kung sabihin tanong sa ibang sa sports naman, we have ESPN, Fox, and etc. So dumantas. And also we have also newspaper and Rappler sa mga applications sa phone na nagtataong news report. Okay po. Next we have, some news report. Next, we have panel discussion. It is a live or virtual discussion about specific topic among selected group or panelists who share different perspective in front of a large crowd. So, ini pang highlight dyan. Selected group of people, panelists who share different perspectives in front of a large crowd. So, anong use kayan? Para maaraman si iba-ibang opinion. For example, sabihin to na nga, pinag-uulayan ta COVID. Tapos, ano nga yung epekto kang COVID sa health? Say, syempre ang invite dyan sa doktor. Ano naman mag-epekto kang COVID sa estudyante? So, of course, we have the education, someone from education. Maybe someone who has PhD or something. May mga, or pwedeng teacher. And sabihin lang sa ekonomiya, pwedeng sabihin tang someone who works in the economy. So, itong sa nag-work sa business and stuff. So, yan ang so sinda-sinda, nag-uulay sinda para maalaman, makakanood sa kada saro. And of course, yung audience makanood man. Po, so for example, we have this one. So, this is taken from YouTube. This is different people talking about the effects of COVID-19 and why it is spreading very quickly. Ano po? So, yan ang group panel. Okay po. So, yan ang panel discussion. Next, we have speeches. So, especially magkaka-election na, marami na naman ito. It refers to formal address or discourse delivered to an audience. So, for example, State of a Nation address, SONA, si President nag-speech kung ano nangyari sa bansa within the years na ito, na nagmuno siya. We also have example, so, formal address, di ba po? So, you can also do that. Speeches, pwede man siya sa wedding, pwede siya sa debut, and etc. Sa school, di ba? Pag may meeting mga parents, may nag-speech ang mga so nag-address ang mga teachers kung ano nangyayari state ng school. Okay, for example, we have this one. So, for the election, we have this one. Barack Obama stating what is happening and the importance of that election during that year. Okay po. So, yan ang speech. Next, we have informative talks. It tends to educate audience on a particular topic. It helps the audience to understand a subject better and to remember what they learned after. So, for example, mga tutorial. Pwede mo siyang i-consider informative talks. For example, gusto mo makanood paano mag-gitara, syempre mga tutorial, informative talk na yan siyang consider kasi tinuturuan ka, na-inform ka, and na-educate ka. Of course, for example here, so example, you have here Bill Gates talking about the danger of pandemic 5 years ago. So, this is 2014, pinag-uulayan yung tungkol ng pandemic. Ironic, nangyari man talaga. So, tigi-inform niya si audience niya kung gaano ka-importante na dapat ready ka sa pandemic and kung paano ito maiwasan. So, that is what he is talking about. Yan, so anong pinag-uulayan niya. Okay po. Next, we have reading technique. So, if we already know the different kinds of information, it's just right na dapat aram ta si ibang techniques kung paano ta maintindihan or anong klaseng technique ang gagamiton ta para ma-absorb yan mga information na yan. So, I'm going to discuss it to you. We have skimming. Look at the words that I highlight. Skimming is referred as gist reading. Pag sinabing gist, may gets mo lang si idea ang si binabasa mo. Skimming may help in order to know what the text is about at its most basic level. Kung tungkol saan ba siya. For example, you read a story about a princess. So, tungkol ano ba ang theme nun? Ano ba tungkol saan ba? Ano bang ginawa ng princess na yon? Skimming is useful when your goal is to preview the text to get better idea what it's about. It will help you prepare for deeper learning. So, before, diba, before tayo may binabasa, like, minsan tigaano ta muna kung tungkol siya sa before ta tigbabasa talagang tultul. Tigkukuha ta lang si idea kan si text. For example here, COVID-19 situation. So highlights, tapos kung for example kaya binasa mo lang, badalaan mo lang basa, magets mo na okay, tungkol pa yan sa COVID, tapos yan si mga tungkol pa siya dyan. For example, a new report economic Latin America WHO regional has highlighted economic and region will be only reviewed COVID curve is flattened. So na-flat da si curve. Okay po. Situation, numbers, so kung man i-skim mo siya, gets mo lang sa idea niya kung anong effects kang COVID-19. Okay po, that is how you skim. What is the difference between scanning? Involves getting your eyes quickly to shuttle across sentences is used to get simple piece of information. For example, you often read stories. For example, tigapot ka ni sir mo, okay, Mr. Pipito, sa mga characters dyan. Siyempre, hanapon mo lang si mga pangalan duman. Across lang. So, makuha ka lang ng information na kaipuhan mo duman. Okay po. Tandaan, skimming, general idea kang buong text, and scanning is more specific, si sarong information na hinahanap mo. For example, here, dayo man kaipuhan basahon talaga si newspaper. Kung naghanap kang trabaho, ano lang ang hanapon mo? Si job offerings na kaipuhan po. Okay? So, that is how you scan. You look for specific information. You shuttle across lang. Tapos pag nanap mo na sa information na kaipuhan mo, dumana. Okay po? Next, intensive reading. This is what you'd usually do at school. It aims to clear in mind when undertaking intensive reading. Remember that this is going to form more time-consuming than scanning or skimming. So, deeper na, intense nga na. This type of reading, it is indeed beneficial to language learners as it helps them understand vocabulary by deducing the meaning of words in context. It is moreover helps with retention of information for long periods of time, and knowledge resulting from intensive reading persists in your long-term memory. So, binabasa mo lang siya, dahil ka naghanap idea, dahil ka naghanap information na, tigbabasa mo siya para maintindihan mo talaga, tapos magtatak sa isip mo. For example, you're already a college students and you're taking up nabenta ng biology or like engineering, like binabasa mo talaga si book or tigaano mo talaga magbasa mo siyang maray para magamit mo. Para pag nag-exam, magagamit mo sa information naman. Okay po. For example, we have this one, a guy studying, for example, nag-study siya ng education. So, nag-review siya kung different theories in learning. So, kaipuhan niya itong matandaan na maray kasi someday gagamitin niya to. And, syempre, pag nagtukdo siya, kaipuhan niyang ideas kung paano tukdoan ng mga aki. That is intensive reading. Okay po? So, we have extensive reading, extend. It involves reading for pleasure. So, because, di ba, some of you guys read Wattpad? So, extensive reading na yan. So, because there are an element of enjoyment in extensive reading, it is unlikely students will undertake extensive reading as for of the text they don't like. So, ginagamit na lang ng text na mga sunod tayo, Wattpad, like mga novels, mga fan fiction. Okay. It also requires fluid decoding, assimilation of the text and content in front of you. So, basically, extensive reading for enjoyment, for pleasure na po. Ay po. And for example, Arugyan, Winds and Willows, Lord of the Flies, Charles Dickens, and other pours. Yung mga sa Wattpad din do, extensive reading na yan. Okay, that will be all that. So if you have any question, you can always message me on my Facebook account, Elvin Francisco Sabido. I really hope that you learned something. Bye. See you next week.